Welcome into Free for All. Mike Doocy, Sam Gannon, and Cowboys radio analyst Babe Laufenberg with us right off the top of the show tonight. Bambino, a little bit to talk about. It's playoff time. You ready?
So. Let me just tell you, always great to be here with you, Sam, and you too, Mark. I mean, it's really an honor.
And listening to the Musers, apparently. The news of the day before we get to the Cowboys-Packers, the retirement, or not the retirement, the resignation.
Exodus.
How do we put it? Being forced away, basically, from the Patriots. Bill Belichick, 24 seasons, 6 Super Bowl wins. Greatest of all time, in your opinion?
I think you have to say that, right? I mean, nobody's come close to what he has done. But I had said all along, this is not going to last. And 24 years later, I was proved correct, right? But no, I mean, it was an unbelievable run. I think the best thing, though, would have been if he had left when Tom Brady left, because obviously the success was not there once Brady left, and so now that's all going to be called into question for the rest of time, right? Did Brady make Bill Belichick? But you don't just win 6 Super Bowls without being a heck of a coach, right?
Absolutely.
2 are forever linked. All right, Babe, let's get to this playoff matchup. Cowboys are favored by 7 against the Packers. Babe, the Packers have had an up-and-down season, but they finished strong, winning 3 straight to punch their ticket into the postseason. How scary of a team is Green Bay right now?
Well, you said they had an up-and-down season, Sam. They really had a down and up season.
That's true.
Because
down and
they
then
started
up.
2-5, and then they finished up 6-2. You know, they're so young. It's amazing. It's incredible. The tight ends and wide receivers, there's not a player past his second year. Half of them are rookies. 2 tight ends are rookies. Wide receivers that are playing are rookies. Christian Watson, who is their best receiver, who's been out with a hamstring injury the last 5 weeks. We'll see what happens with him. But he's in his second year, and he's like the veteran guy. So there's going to be a lot of pressure, certainly on Jordan Love.
Talk to us more about Jordan Love. This is a guy who's gone on quite a run here to close out the season, last 6-7 games or so. Why has he improved so drastically?
Well, I just think he's playing. So it is his 4th year in the league, but it's his 1st year as a starter. And that just makes all the difference in the world getting out there. You can watch it from the sidelines for 12 years, but until you get out there, it's going to be different. But you could see the improvement as the season went along, and talked to a number of people that have played against the Packers. I'm talking coaches and defensive coordinators, and they said the improvement that they saw in Jordan Love was tangible. And he certainly played better down the stretch, as you would expect. But the big thing is, I think when they come in here, you want to take the pressure off of him. The place is going to be rocking. We know that. You've got a veteran running back in Aaron Jones, and last 3 weeks, each of those games, he's rushed for 100 or more yards. And so he's the guy I think that they're going to rely on early on. My key, you stay as close to Aaron Jones as Joe Willie and I did here in this photo at the UTEP game, okay? Do not give him any more space than Joe Willie and I gave him right here.
Yeah, the Aaron Jones special to you because, of course, of Luke's connection to UTEP, played for UTEP, and Aaron Jones, a big star out there in El Paso as well. We're going to talk more from a Cowboys perspective with Babe here in just a moment.
Babe Laufenberg back with us here in studio. Let's talk a little bit about Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. It's clear the impact that McCarthy has had on this offense calling the plays this season. Prescott led the league with 36 touchdowns. Babe, the offense seems to be clicking at the right time entering the playoffs, doesn't it?
Yeah, really, since week 6, right, when they had the bye and little, I think, come to Mike meeting, if you will, and the offense changed. And it got back to what it was last year for the most part. But I always think this, guys, that quarterback and play caller, they have to have a symbiotic relationship. You can look that up later, Mike.
I've been with you so long, I knew you were going to say that. I knew that's
only a matter of time.
That's the only reason you use that word.
No, Mike, I don't mean to be condescending. That means talking down to you, by the way.
Thank you.
No, but it's like a pitcher and catcher in baseball where that catcher flashes a sign and the pitcher says, man, just what I was thinking. And I feel like that's happening between Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. That play comes in, and Dak is so confident that that's the right call. Of course, you do a lot more at the line of scrimmage now, too, but it just seems like they have it rolling from that standpoint.
McCarthy, I thought quite admirably admitted this week that he made a mistake a year ago by bringing up the Green Bay stuff for the first trip back there. He said he thought it was too much of a distraction, unnecessary distraction. He's not doing it this time around. but he's become part of the story in spite of the way he wants it to be this week by speculation about, you know, what if they bow out in the first round? Is his job in jeopardy? I don't think it is. 12 wins in 3 straight years.
Mike and I don't agree with it.
And Sam thinks, you know, maybe they need to make a run for him to be totally safe. You're not wild about talking about this kind of stuff, but what's your thought on it?
Well, first thought is I think Sam needs to be fired if that's the way she's thinking. Don't fire McCarthy, fire Sam. The second one is, it's crazy talk. I mean, 12-5. No coach has been to the playoff 3 consecutive years for the Cowboys since Jimmy Johnson. You know, 12 wins in 3 consecutive years, and you're talking about firing a guy? And to me, Pittsburgh is the model franchise. 3 coaches in, 142 years.
Right.
And they go through ups and downs, but they're always knocking on the door. And you gotta knock on the door. You gotta get yourself into the playoffs, right? There's 18 teams out there that don't have a shot at this thing, right? 3 straight years, you just gotta have the ball bounce your way one of these years. So again, the notion that Mike McCarthy should be fired, again, to me, it's crazy talk.
I know, hold on, but is one of these years, meaning within how much, are we talking within the next 5 years, they should?
No, if he goes to the playoffs 5 consecutive years, then I'm keeping him. Because again, you're knocking on the door, and then one of the years the ball has to bounce your way. And when you look at all these teams that make it, go back to the end of Adam Vinatieri kicking the snow, the tuck rule against, all these things happen that get these teams, you know, to the Super Bowl or to win the Super Bowl. And again, just keep knocking on the door like Pittsburgh does, and you're going to break through one of these times. The other part is, I think, is interesting, talking about McCarthy and the build-up to the game. Last year, remember, it was Aaron Rodgers, and it was McCarthy going back to Green Bay. It just doesn't have the same feel of that game because there is no Aaron Rodgers, and the relationship that they had, which was a little fractured at the end, no matter what both of them want to say. And you don't have that this time around. McCarthy must be in heaven, though, because he went from the highest maintenance quarterback in the NFL to the lowest.
Lowest maintenance, yeah.
I mean, he must think he died and went to heaven.
A few seconds left here. I don't know if you've got a prediction on the game or not, but what type of game do you expect? High scoring, low scoring?
Yeah, I never like to predict a game that you're going to broadcast, you know,
I hear you.
because you don't want to pick the other side, and then everybody here in Dallas is, oh, what the heck was that about? I do see high scoring. Interestingly enough, Green Bay, the last 4 times they've come to AT&T Stadium, has scored exactly 34 points in each game.
Wow.
The last 4. You know what that means, Mike? I did the math. You got to score 35 to beat them. But I do see the Cowboys getting somewhere in that mid-30 range. Yeah.
It's that kind of symbiotic relationship you have with the numbers. It's very good.
Yeah, me and the numbers.
Babe Laufenberg, as always. Bambino, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Deuce. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.